Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a Massacre Monday. We're going to be covering a new deck here today that I am calling Top Heavy Skellige. Uh, I think I've been thinking a lot about the meta and about diversity in the meta, and I had said that Skellige is one of my favorites for diversity because there's so many playable units and synergies. Bleeding Elves being one of my favorites. But all I see are non-devotion, symbiosis, Karathi Heatwave, etc. And they're driving me nuts. And same thing with Skellige. Skellige could be really diverse, and you can play a lot of different cards. The faction is very strong right now. So I thought to myself, why don't we do something really weird? It's going to be a little bit annoying, but not break the game. And this is what I came up with. So, this deck runs a warrior package, but it's like a thin warrior package that relies on heals and boosts. It also has alchemy in here, so it's weird. And we love weird. So anyway, we're rocking Harald, Draco Turtle, Crow Mother, and then Covenant of Steel with Sucrus is just unbeatable. And then Artist just ruins gameplay. But he pairs super well with Vildkarl. We've also got in here our Svalbard Priests. You could instead go for your Svalbard Cultists, or I always forget what they're called. Yeah, just Svalbard Cultists. These ones are really good. They heal to the left, damage to the right. So they could give you a little bit more flexibility than Priest. But instead I'm running Heme Flaminica. If you wanted, you could actually put in Gedeneth here. Might even actually be better than Harald, since we're not playing that many warriors. But I like Harald because he kind of makes the opponent think I'm doing something I'm not doing. But we'll walk you through that. Crow Messengers are here for thinning. Torsic Skirmisher and Morkvarg are here as the premier targets with Berna. But Berna can target one of the Crow Messengers, no problem as well. So let's jump in, show you how this deck rocks. And maybe we'll do the first one with Harald and the second one with Gedeneth. How about that? I'll probably leave it with Gedeneth just because Harald is a little bit awkward. Because you do need to fill the graveyard with certain units. Specifically, we do have one great sword. There aren't a lot of damages outside of the dudes, the Drummond crazy people. Oh, I don't know. I can't think of the name. You know who I'm talking about, though. The Berserkers. Yeah, these guys. Drummond Berserker. I got both parts of the name. I just can't get it together. I have a little bit of a headache, so forgive me for saying stupid things. So round one, I actually really like to get out Draco Turtle. It makes the opponent think you're going to try to revive it, but it plays really well with a Mardrome. So you just want a Svalbard Priest, a Mardrome, and a Draco Turtle, and you're good to go off to the races. Alchemy in hand means you can use Crow Messenger for thinning. Stunning Blow is actually kind of nice here against Northern Realms. Only things that kind of fall a little bit short, this Drummond Berserker doesn't have a way of getting healed, but on Great Sword will be great for later on. So I'm pretty happy. I don't know. We'll put Morkvarg back. That's a great trade. Probably should have kept Stunning Blow. We are, as they say, where we are. Now, here's what I love to do. Get out your Crow Mother and just use her with your Svalbard Priest until she's dead, and then you can drop down your Draco Turtle, just depending on how you want to set up the cadence. But you can kill off your Crow Mother, no worries, just play your Alchemy later and you'll be good to go. So here we'll go ahead and get him down. I should have thought we were on blue coin, so kind of stinks to be in this position. Let's go ahead and get it out. Okay, this is actually fine. We'll put that in the graveyard, and it gives us a crow. So, not phenomenal, but it works. Had we left in Morkvarg, we could have targeted him. Probably would have been a better option. Okay, that's fine. Instead, we'll go for a Crow Messenger here, and it gets the other crow out of the graveyard with no other requirement. You just need an alchemy card to get it out of your deck. So that's really kind of the only trick there. And here we'll get down an Uncrate Greatsword just to set up for round 3. And I think probably just get out of this round. Not a big deal to have this killed off. Oh, Nautilus bricks. That's unfortunate. So it means he has Amphibious Assault in hand. So we're just going to take the pass. Man, I think they probably just stole a copy paste deck and didn't realize that there was only one boiling oil. Ain't no thing. One thing you could totally do with this deck too, you could actually build in Newt the Callous. He's a pretty awesome card. And using a shield? Don't make poor choices like this person has if you're playing Shieldwall. That's all I have to say. I'm guessing they're going to attempt to bleed in round 2. Just feels a little bit awkward. Alright, I love the Mardromes. We'll keep Flaminica. Okay, Flaminica with Judah actually plays really well. Because she can just heal her up passively every turn. And we'll just take our chances with Berna. Worst case scenario, we'll put this Mardrome back in. We have one with leader, so. But that being the case from our opponent, I think instead we'll just go ahead and get out Heyme Flaminica. Would have been nice to keep her, but not the end of the world. Now we're going to try to draw into at least Morkvarg or a Tursic Skirmisher. If we can get both, even better. This combo is very good. But I'd rather have Morkvarg. Still looking for a Skirmisher. Alright, I think we'll take this. We do get to draw 2 cards before we have to do her, so this should still work. Now here, I don't quite want to get down my Covenant of Steel just because of Onsace threatening. So we'll go ahead and get out Draco Turtle. Onsace looming large at the back of my mind with these shield walls, being able to remove some crazy points. Now, Onsace against a Draco Turtle is a little bit of a weird situation because he will do the 6 damage per this armor, but then Draco Turtle is going to get boosted by that 6 damage, go up to 11, smack Onsace back, and end up killing him off. So, kind of a rough series of plays for our opponent to deal with. Alright, now I think... tough choices here. I don't want Sucrus to get killed off. I think here we will go for our Covenant of Steel. And then we'll drop down our Sucrus. Northern Realms doesn't usually run a Purify. Sometimes they do run a Carrick Guard. Alright, perfect. We're set up now. Once you have this combo down, they have to really move things in order to get value. Now we just kind of want to play our units. And we'll get Artis out before too long. But just because, so normally what you actually could do is get out Artis pretty early here and then keep playing units to the left of Sucrus, and then they won't take damage when they get played down. Seeing that our opponent could very well have an Onsace, I really need to keep this defender here to maximize value. So we'll go for Burna. And we'll discard Morkvarg and Hame Protector. Morkvarg comes out. Another cool thing you can also do with Sucrus, you can play these Mardromes and they'll damage the unit, but then boost it up immediately without actually damaging it since they can't take damage. The strong devour the weak. He's like such a creepy dude, but such an awesome card to just annoy your opponent to no end. Everything our opponent plays now is going to get damaged by half its value. Amphibious Assault losing a lot of value that way. Visigoda coming out a little bit late. That's fine. This Pistodi play is quite nice for our opponent though. But this sets us up really well for our Vildkarl play. He is a warrior though, so we're going to go ahead and get down Harald the Cripple. And again, everything we play is also going to get damaged by half its value as well. Not a lot we can do about that. Siege seems like a really greedy way to play Shieldwall, but you know, more power to you. That's such a great play. All right, let's go ahead and get down Vildkarl. Gotta watch our units to make sure we're not gonna run into troubles here. His bleed's falling short on Harald. Every time the opponent's playing units, so it's going to damage this, so that gives us some survivability there. Because Svalbard, Champion of Svalbard is down at 10, 12, I'm going to go ahead and get down Judah right now.
So, no one else dares face me.
Oh, that should not have happened like that. At a minimum, this Donomir is 13 points. Oh, use a brain. Use a brain. Artis here is the one who damaged her by half her value. So, sorry. I was all concerned about that. Like, at a minimum, we have Donomir here and Pistodi who are more valued.
Victory mine, whatever the cost.
I think maybe we're going to see a War Elephant come down as final play. That damage on Draco Turtle actually being a boost for us, so we don't mind. And we'll just get rid of that. Nobody's dying off, so we're okay. And you're going to see some crazy final plays here. Mardrome onto Draco Turtle counts for 12 points. So just some crazy good value. Hansei's taking crazy damage here. Getting the shield. Wait to see if our opponent makes the mistake of using it. Alright, not glorious, but a decent finish. Just not quite enough points for us. Unless our opponent makes poor choices, then we might actually pull it off. But I think the Carrack Marine getting reset with the Corvo boost is enough to get our opponent out of this situation. So I think I think, like I had said, I think the Harald play is a little clunky. I think we should cycle out Harald and Great Swords. But this is one way you can play it. I have gotten some wins with it. Just a little bit weird. Shieldwall is quite good, and our opponent not able to get full value out of some of those plays. But the Bastodi proving to be a little problematic. So, the other way I would play this, let's actually make a copy of this, and we will call it something else. So, in case you don't know, that's how you can copy a deck. Just click on it. We'll trade out Harald, and we will trade out Great Sword, and we will go for Druids. And Heme Herbalist would actually work pretty well with this deck. Being able to heal up several of our injured units, Judah being a really good example. Alternatively, you can sub in a Crow Clan Preacher to get some value from these alchemy cards. There's not a ton of alchemy in this deck, but I think there is enough to make it worthwhile to get a second one in here. So we'll go ahead and use Crow Clan Preacher. The other card we actually could use, though, would be Cultist. And given her flexibility with this deck, I actually think that's who we're going to use. So you could go with Cultist, or you could go with a Crow Clan Preacher. I have to say it like that, otherwise I can't ever pronounce it correctly. So we'll take this in, show you guys a little bit more how this works. But I think this artist play really hampers your opponent's ability to make the choices that they really want to normally with Northern Realms. Obviously, on Sace looming large was problematic for us. Having to play around that really does lead to suboptimal plays. Do I think this is the best Skellige deck out there? No. But have you seen 1,000,001 Skellige Warriors decks already this season? Yes. So that's why we're just not going to mess with it. Nilfgaard, again, I think has really fallen off. Really struggling. My advice about Nilfgaard this season is don't play it. Here just looking for Burna basically, but we do get to cycle back one with our leader ability. Not with leader ability, but with the Mask of Oribos. So here I think our best chance for cadence play, I think we're actually just going to go ahead and get out our Judah. And one reason we can do that is because with this leader ability, every time we play an alchemy card, she is going to go ahead and get boosted. We are missing Gedeneth here, but I think this will end up being an okay play for us. And we really don't need to pull this mask yet. And you could go with other stratagems. I just really like Mask of Oribos. I think the draw consistency is pretty good, but the additional crow is makes that much better than Cursed Scroll. Shields is kind of an interesting way of using a Nilfgaard deck. Here we'll go ahead and use this now, see what we get. Alright, this Svalbard Cultist works pretty well with some of our other cards, but here, not the greatest synergy with anything other than Drummond Berserker. That being the case, let's just go ahead and put one of these Crow Messengers in the graveyard, and we can go ahead and get both of them out. Just like that. Great way to avoid bricking. Crow Messengers giving you a little flexibility. But not the best way to go about thinning your deck either. Huraquax. Alright, I think we're heading into a mill deck with our opponent planning to pull out of our cards. Alright, Enslave, an interesting choice here. We get great value from our Giga Scorpion decoction. It also triggers that heal on Judah. Losing Draco Turtle is really unfortunate, but not the end of the world. And here we actually can drop down this Svalbard Cultist to heal up our Judah. can also put Morkvarg to the side of her to get killed off, then get someone back to the melee row, but that would just be kind of a biding our time type play. Don't think our opponent was expecting what just happened to happen. So out comes Tibor, pulling a random card from our deck. This is an even better option for us. We'll just go ahead and drop down this Berserker. You want to put the Berserkers to the right of the Flaminica. That way they get healed at the beginning of the at the end of the next turn. So I guess here maybe we wanted to actually put it to the left so that he damaged first and then got that, but we are where we are. Here I don't really love what we have left. We could use a Mardrome to get Judah healed and to boost somebody else by 6. I think we'll put down this Cultist for the passive heal. That is enough points to get us out of this round. Oh, Assassinate's coming down for some nasty business. Alright, let's go ahead and get out. I don't mind losing on evens here. With Tibor and Ihuraquax out, our opponent has done some decent milling. I like the idea of using that with Enslave to be able to steal your opponent's best card. I think our opponent was expecting to see Harald. Go ahead and save that. Sucrus is a bit of a better option. But really looking for some other cards we just aren't drawing into. Gedeneth and Crow Mother being prime examples. So I'm hoping our opponent goes for a little bit of pressure here as we can tempo up pretty heavily with Birna. Let's see what our opponent sticks in our graveyard. Vild Karl being a great option. We shall do it my way. Getting really bad luck against a mill deck here, especially for a deck that has pretty better than average draw consistency. Our Crow Mother and Gedeneth with both of our Salvad Priests being pretty vulnerable here. Now, one other option you can use is Drummond Berserker with Sucrus. Sucrus just prevents all damage from happening to this Drummond Berserker.
I live to serve you.
Mardromes also pair really well with Haymay Protector. Our opponent here likely looking to put something on the top of our deck that's just going to cause some problems. Fair trade, not a really big deal for us. We'll go ahead and get the other one out. Seen 1 Tourney Joust and 2 Assassinations. Wouldn't surprise me to see 1 more Tourney Joust. We'll take that a day at a time. The one downside with Drummond Berserkers is you get what you get with that. You can't let them transform to Bear Abominations, so they will be stuck in that perpetual healed state. Again, I find that to be quite nice to get the perpetual damage, but you know, sane minds vary on how that should be done. We are going to cycle back for Svalbard Priest. It is just better value with our Sucrus, Covenant of Steel, and Artist combo. I anticipate there's a Vilgefortz. So we are where we are. These are our Druids. So we need both of those in order to make Gedeneth work the way we want it to. I'm hoping that there's going to be a new expansion with Cultist synergy. Right now, Cultist doesn't really mean anything. It's on the cards, but a little bit like Relict. Other than with Dana Mead, it doesn't really mean much. Let's go ahead and get down. We'll go ahead and put Covenant of Steel down. See if we can't protect our Gedeneth for 1 turn. Yen's Invo makes great sense there. For those of you unfamiliar, we're going to get out a Crow's Eye Rhizome and then a Mardrome. But looks like we're not getting either. I anticipated a Bomb Heaver was a decent possibility there. And there we see it happen. Alright, so let's go ahead here and get down Sucrus.
Novigrad's got more drugs than it has rats.
See what else our opponent has to ruin our lives with. Nilfgaard would probably be one of the best decks in order in terms of having a way to deal with Sucrus. This Vilgefortz I think is a little premature. We do get 4 rounds here, and leader ability makes it so we can get out that Crow Mother whenever we want to. So we're just gonna let it go ahead and do its thing. Ugh. I don't think Vigo's Muscle is the best way of playing the game. Not at all. Not a great trade in my opinion. It plays for 10 total points and you lose the engine value. Alright, Roderick of Dunton gives him his Covenant of Steel. So one thing you can do with Artis here, seeing as we've seen Vilgefortz and Yen come down, we can just go ahead and use our leader ability to get him bulked up to 11 points. If you're worried about other removal, it might not be the best choice in the world. But I think our opponent's probably spent with other value. Artist now finding excellent value for us. I do have to say the artist does kind of ruin your pair abominations. We also get rid of our opponent's Roderick there in the event that he had something else, but here we're just gonna go ahead and sauce it up. One more of those. And it does heal that Crow Mother you saw there because it is a damaged unit. So we do get really good value out of the synergy with the leader. Again, like I said, I think that Vilgefortz was used prematurely. The Sucrus was coming down to protect something. Wait for that something to come out and then deal with it. There wasn't a need to wipe Sucrus off just yet. Would have been better to get rid of Artis. But those are my opinions. That's my feeling about it. Thank you guys so much for joining on this Massacre Monday. I hope you enjoyed this deck. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe for further content, and until next time, good luck on the path. Get out there and keep on Gwenting.